You want to help the men and women who serve our country in the military and fight for your freedoms. It's top of mind as tomorrow is Veterans Day.
And many Americans feel compelled to donate to veterans groups like the VFW. But KXAN investigator Brian Collister discovered veterans never receive most of that money.
Robert and Shannon, we've done something that's never been done before. We've uncovered records showing Texans have donated more than $130 million to veterans charities since 2001. But the leaders of those veterans groups chose to use professional fundraisers that kept the majority of it, 84% of the money you gave to help needy vets.
Every day is a struggle in the game, just hustle and grind, trying to maintain. I wrote the song Hold On after I got in the car accident because it was just I felt really lonely and isolated.
A car accident in 2006 grounded former Marine Nikki Boudreau's dream of being a military pilot and fighting for her country.
That was pretty devastating, and it took me to a really dark place.
That dark place included falling behind on her bills, but Nikki got financial help from the Texas VFW Foundation, $2,500.
And I was basically on the verge of homelessness. I couldn't have been more thankful to have them come in at a time in my life that was so crucial. You know, it was like do or die.
Money the VFW of Texas uses to help needy vets comes from you through your generous donations. Much of it raised over the phone by several professional fundraisers, most by a firm called the Heritage Company. State records uncovered by KXAN, in addition to numbers provided by the VFW of Texas, show they solicited more than $5 million in donations since 2002. The professional fundraisers kept 80%, pocketing more than $4 million.
I feel like shame on the companies that are approaching the VFW with that sort of business plan opportunity.
Ken Berger with Charity Navigator says the most efficient nonprofits spend no more than 15% of their budget on fundraising.
Well, it looks to us like a very inefficient organization where a tremendous amount of money is going to expenses other than helping the veterans.
This is Roy Grona. He runs the VFW of Texas. Grona initially agreed to explain on camera why the VFW chooses to hire fundraisers that keep the majority of the money you give. But the VFW's lawyer later canceled that interview. Mr. Grona, sir, Brian Collister with KXAN. How are you, sir?
Can't talk to you, Brian.
So we tried to get answers by reaching him outside of the group's Austin headquarters. First, I want to thank you for your service to your country and for everything that the VFW does. But I'm here on behalf of all the people that donate money to your organization, the bulk of which, as you know, goes to professional fundraisers. Will you please sit down and talk to us about why so much of the money goes to professional fundraisers?
No, sir, I won't. Yeah, I refer you to my lawyer. She's handling all that.
Well, what would be the legal issue with you talking about how people donate money?
She's just advised me not to talk to you about it.
As you know, 80% of what your telemarketer raises goes to the telemarketer.
That is incorrect.
Well, we've done the math. We'd just like to sit down and actually talk to you about it.
That's all right.
We don't mean to be disrespectful. We know you've done great work with the organization.
That's
we would
fine.
just like to explain to
I'm
people
done.
how the money is spent. Would you make time to sit down with us? Along with Grona, we reached out to other VFW leaders, even called the National VFW in Washington, but no one was willing to answer questions about fundraising. Instead, the Texas VFW's lawyer sent us this letter saying, quote, "Unfortunately, donations do not always come in without fundraising efforts by the Texas VFW and its local posts. Fundraising, whether through direct mail or telephone solicitation, through bingo events, or through the VFW's Support a Veteran sweepstakes, costs money."
We recommend that people never give to an organization through a telemarketer because so much of your money is going to a for-profit rather than to the mission and the cause it's supposed to go to.
Living in the city of the MIA.
A cause helping veterans like Nikki.
I would say that they're just doing it out of a necessity to just keep the organization afloat, you know? I wouldn't say that, you know, they're, you know, trying to sweep some dirt under the rug or anything. I think that they just want the money so that they can pay it forward and whatever they've got to do to get it.
Now, we did reach out to the VFW's fundraisers, but no one called us back. Watchdog groups like Charity Navigator recommend you hang up if you get a call from a professional fundraiser. Instead, send the group a check so it will keep 100% of your money. Shannon?
So, Brian, I'm wondering why the leaders of VFW choose these companies that keep so much of the donations.
Well, the argument is that it costs money to make money. Now, the bigger debate is how much should it cost to raise those funds and should it be disclosed to donors? Now, the VFW has said that they would love to find something better than an 80-20 split.
Now, what did the fundraisers say about their profit on these donations?
So far, nothing. No comment.
They fought for your freedom, and many of them need financial help when they return home. But would you change your mind about donating to veterans charities if you found out the way you're donating could be illegal? KXAN investigator Brian Collister joins us now. And Brian, what you discovered walks a very fine line with gambling.
Yes, and in Texas, gambling is illegal. You pay money for a chance to win money. Then there's a sweepstakes. You've probably seen these Monopoly sweepstakes at McDonald's. Here, you can also win cash or prizes, but there's no purchase necessary. But some in law enforcement believe the sweepstakes you're about to see with our hidden cameras is illegal because you're paying to play. Veterans Charities claim you're just making a donation. It looks like and sounds like a casino. And here you can win cash too. These sweepstakes games are in bars and VFW posts across Central Texas.
I did play the games for fun, and I did play to win money.
This Austin woman says she has a gambling addiction, losing tens of thousands of dollars playing these sweepstakes machines. Do you think this is illegal gambling?
Absolutely. After doing it for 4 years, I've learned enough to know what's legal and what's not.
Veterans groups insist you're just donating money to their charity. But this player says that's not how it works. She took our producer undercover to this bar in Pflugerville.
I need your driver's license and how much money you want to play.
Where we're told we can win big bucks playing the sweepstakes, benefiting a veterans charity called AmVets.
How does it work?
If you hit one of the jackpots or one of the pots, you can collect up to $500 in a day.
They give you a free $1 to start. To play more, we must make a donation.
Do you win anything with $1?
The odds are extremely low.
The more money you bet, the more money you win.
With our $20, it didn't take long to win more cash. And soon we go to collect our winnings.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We found other sweepstakes machines operated by a company called V-Sweeps in local bars and VFW posts like Post 8925 in Southeast Austin.
How does it work?
Then, after playing for a while, this VFW post pays us our winnings, $38 in cash. We contacted several area law enforcement agencies to talk about the legality of these sweepstakes. All declined to comment. That's because of a still pending court case involving the sweepstakes at this Austin area American Legion Hall. The issue still before the court: was it illegal gambling or not? So we headed 200 miles east to Anderson County to meet a district attorney who's successfully prosecuted these types of cases.
It's just a ruse to try to get around the laws of the state of Texas.
$3 a spin.
We showed the DA our hidden camera video.
In my opinion, based on my experience, my knowledge of these games, that is an illegal activity in the state of Texas. It's illegal gambling and it's illegal sweepstakes. The only legal lottery in Texas is the Texas Lottery. And what they're doing in Austin, Texas is illegal.
No one with AmVets or the Texas VFW would talk on camera about its sweepstakes. Attorney General Greg Abbott says sweepstakes are illegal. In fact, he's currently suing an Indian tribe in El Paso over its sweepstakes games. The lawyer for the VFW said in a statement, quote, "Because the Office of the Attorney General takes a very expansive view of what constitutes gambling and has chosen to attack all charitable sweepstakes, the VFW has had to defend its sweepstakes in court. To date, the VFW's efforts have been successful. Still, some in law enforcement who appreciate the sacrifices made by veterans think this is a battle they eventually will lose."
I think they, to some extent, have been the victim of a good sales pitch that slick people are good at doing, but it's still illegal and they shouldn't be doing it.
The VFW sweepstakes brought in $12 million in donations in 2012. The company operating the machine, they kept half of that money. Now, earlier tonight at 6, we revealed how millions donated to help needy veterans wound up instead in the pockets of professional telemarketers. Texans have given more than $130 million to veterans groups since 2001, but fundraisers kept 84%.
Brian, I'm curious what the bars and the VFW posts said about that undercover video and the possibility of illegal business going on in their businesses.
They all say it's perfectly legal as far as they're concerned.
So why would veterans organizations work with these types of organizations?
Well, the VFW says it simply needs the money to be able to operate. If they didn't get these funds, they'd have to shut down posts all over the state.
This past week, KXAN revealed the Texas VFW uses professional fundraisers that keep 80% of the donations you give to veterans in need. Our investigator Brian Collister discovered 2 companies broke the law. Now the VFW says it's fired one of them.
This week, we introduced you to 2 local veterans struggling to make ends meet. Someone who's not struggling? This guy, California businessman Gul Jasinghani, who lives in this Malibu mansion. He started a fundraising company called Veterans Assistance Corporation, used for more than a decade by the VFW of Texas to ask you for money for needy vets. $440,000 in 2012 and 13 for the Texas VFW. But we discovered the company kept 80%. The company is listed by the VFW as operating in Houston, where we went to track someone down. Hello, trying to reach Veterans Assistance Corporation. No one here at the company's last listed address. So we did some more digging and found through state records that Jasinghani created the company in 1991. The next year, a newspaper investigation reported he raised $27 million for VFWs in 11 states, keeping 90% of the donations for its expenses and profits. So we tried to reach Jasinghani ourselves, with no luck. The VFW of Texas refuses to say if Jasinghani is still involved in its fundraising. We also checked another Houston fundraiser used by the VFW, called VFW Fundraising. It raised more than $200,000 for the VFW in 2014, but kept 80%. Hi, I'm looking for VFW Fundraising. There's a business at this address called VFW Fundraising?
No, here.
Not here?
No, here.
Does anybody live here?
Not right now.
An empty apartment is all we can find. But we discovered neither fundraiser reported how much they raised to the Texas Secretary of State. By law, the companies must submit these forms showing how much they raised and how much goes to the vets. The company Jasinghani founded, Veterans Assistance Corporation, has been raising money since 2001, never filing a single report, something the Secretary of State's office didn't know until we discovered it.
These organizations that we believe should be filing with us at the Secretary of State's office, if they don't do so, we're contacting them, letting them know, and then if they don't respond, we'll send that over to the Attorney General's office.
The VFW also won't say how much these companies raised before 2012 and claims it didn't know they weren't filing the required reports until our investigation. The group's lawyer sent an email saying, quote, "It was not until a few weeks ago that we learned that the Veterans Assistance Corporation had not been filing the reports it was responsible for filing with the Secretary of State. We promptly advised them to cease soliciting on behalf of the VFW Department of Texas." We've posted all of the Texas VFW's public financial reports on our website so you can see for yourself. Just go to the investigative section of KXAN.com. Brian Collister, KXAN Investigates.